Books that children like to read, Part 3. Question number 1. What kinds of books do children like to read and why? Well, there are plenty of books that is on the market right now. We can call some of the names like romantic books, comics books, and something like that, novels, and all the things like that. But as I have done some research in the scope of my family, I believe that my sister would rather to read books that are really entertaining, like hilarious book or comics, because those type of book have better illustrations and it allows the children to look and be excited by the colorful and beautifully painted paintings. Also, there are less amount of you know there are less amount of words in there, so children can easily understand and get all of the meaning that the book is trying to transfer. So yeah, and also when I was a child, I would love to read comics and books with well illustrated pictures and some kind of like fairy tales or something like that, because it allows me to open up my imaginations, and it also helps me to like get to know more about the real world without reading too many words, because at that time I was a little kid, so I cannot read anything. Like, it's not I cannot read anything, but I have a like limited word the knowledge of words. So yeah. Question number 2. What can kids learn from books? Well, books is a very, very important transportation that can carry the child to everywhere around the world. Geography book can bring them to countries like Europe, like far continents like Europe, specifically England, or they can even bring children to Africa, no matter where they are, reading the book. And also, kids can also learn many, many things from the books, from science to, literature. Like, there are so many good science books nowadays on the market that people can easily choose one for themselves and for their kids. So that the kids will have the early approach to science at a very young age. It's really, really beneficial to the child. Question number 3. Do people prefer to read ebooks or printed books in your country? Well, in my country, ebooks aren't really popular, so we prefer to read printed books. Although there are some fake printed books on the market, it is better than reading ebooks, because like when people read ebooks, they cannot really have the intense focus in reading books. They will have distractions from the screen, from messages, notifications, and something like that. So reading printed book would give them a really, really comfortable feelings that where they can have intense focus on the book only, and they can let their imaginary fly. So yeah, I have to tell you that Vietnamese people would prefer to read printed book instead of ebooks. Question number 4. Do you think people need to develop the habit of reading and why? Well, yes, I do believe that people need to develop the habit of reading because, firstly, reading can help people attain knowledge from all kinds of grounds, from science to literature, from math to English. So yeah, from all grounds, and especially their in-depth knowledge. So reading books is a really good idea to get knowledge, and books are the best references. Secondly, people need to develop the habit of reading because whenever they read, they are allowed to open up their mind, their imaginary. So they are allowed to travel to places that they have never been to through reading a book. They can imagine and they can open up their mind. Thirdly, people when develop their habits of reading, are allowed to have intense focus. They can practice their focus on from the experience of reading books, and whenever they practice that, they are allowed to apply all of those skills into other kinds of learning in their life. So all in all, I think the habit of reading is a must. Is one of the must developed skills. Question number 5: do you think reading books can make people happier? Well, yes, I do. I do think so. There are two reasons for this. Firstly, people are, like I said before, they are allowed to open up their mind and their imaginary. I mean, whenever they read books, they are allowed to travel to places that they have not been to, and they are allowed to be free from the settings that they are sitting or they are standing to read the book, and they are freed from everything that are abstraining them from thinking and traveling and something like that. So yeah, whenever they read books, I think that books really create happiness. And secondly, people are allowed to choose the books that they like to read, from novels to comics, from horror to textbooks. So yeah, people really find the books that are in their interest ground to read. Of course, when they read a book from their interest ground, of course it provides them with happiness. So all in all, I think reading books really bring you happiness. Question number 6: do you think ebook will make people read more? Why? Well, it depends actually. So when we want to read ebooks, we have to have devices like electronic devices, like phones or laptops and tablets and something like that. Um, However, some kind of people, they don't have the ability to buy those kind of devices. So it's really hard for them to get access to those ebooks. And really, in this case, ebooks really stop people from reading books. However, in other cases, ebooks have better illustrations. They have colors, they have better pictures. Sometimes it also enhanced people to read ebooks and to read books to develop the habit of reading. However, from my point of view, I believe that reading, paper books is better than reading ebooks. I don't know why, but yeah, so that's what I want to say. Thank you for listening.